is Becky Percy. I'm a natural-born British citizen, but now live in the United States after having to flee my own country in fear of death. At age 4, I was first sexually abused by my biological parents. Then age 9, I was first trafficked, which continued until I was around 19 years of age. In 2010, I finally disclosed about the abuse to a school teacher, who then reported it to CPS. I was removed from the home, but it was clear that CPS didn't believe me. Not only was I called an allegation maker, I was also asked to go back to live with my biological parents. This continued for the 5 years that I was under their care. It was a vicious cycle that I was in. First, I would disclose of abuse. Then it would be reported to the police and social services, who I knew would not take my claims seriously. It was then passed to the police, who would investigate it, and then they would come back to me and say that there wasn't enough evidence to pursue it to court, and they would drop the case. CPS would see that, and they would think that there was no other reason to keep me away from my biological parents. So they made me go back to have contact with them again. It was a vicious cycle where I was just being abused, and not only by my biological parents, but I was being neglected by CPS, the people that were supposed to be ensuring my safety. During those 5 years of being in their care, I continued to be unsafe. I couldn't walk out on the streets without being put in the back of a van and taken to an unknown location where I'd be raped and molested and tortured for hours on end until they had finished their sick mind games, their sick games that they would play. I would have to just bear it. I would just have to cope for those hours on end, knowing that hopefully I would get out alive, but there was no telling. In February 2015, a blog went up live on Twitter that I